Captain Marvel, we saw it. We liked it. We'll give you our thoughts about it.
All that and more on the Half-Assed Approach. Hello, welcome to the Half-Assed Approach. My name is Quint.
I'm Harry.
And we've watched Captain Marvel. Who hasn't? I guess maybe a lot of people.
A lot of people.
It was only officially came out Friday, but...
But we love you, and so we paid the extra money to watch it early.
Sort of.
Oh, by the way, this will be a spoiler commentary because we don't have the time, energy, or interest to make a non-spoiler version.
I'm not going to sit here and worry about whether or not this is being a spoiler or not. I'm just going to blab.
Yeah. Plus, how do you define spoiler? Like, it's such a,
Well, I told you exactly what the end credit clip was all about, then that would be a spoiler, I guess.
Yeah, that's true. So, yeah. Okay, so this is spoiler version. Quint, your thoughts?
For the longest time, I think for as long as we've been doing the podcast, Harrison's been, talking up Captain Marvel about being this great thing. And then maybe about 2 months ago, I started hearing a lot of crap about, just everything with Brie Larson. If you don't know what that's all about, I guess you're not really that interested in Captain Marvel. And you know what? Don't worry about it, in my opinion. Because I'll say this, it kind of just ruined my whole hype about the movie in general. Yeah. It drove me nuts. And I'm like, great, this is going to be not a great movie. But overall, it was it was better than I thought. It was not... I didn't really take it as any pro-feminist or anything like that. It was just a movie. And I think what a lot of people are doing is let's tie what the character in the movie is. Let's tie that with the actual actor that character is played by, and their personal life,
and her political views, and
people are seeing these two people as one and the same. But really, that's the whole point of acting. Is you can be your own person, your own personality, but when you act as somebody else, as a character in a film, movie, whatever. Those are the same. Film, movie, play.
Film, movie.
Whatever.
My rule with that has always been, you can love the art and hate the artist. Now, I'm not saying I hate Brie Larson at all. But you can love the art and hate the artist. That's why I like The Cosby Show, but Bill Cosby was creeper. Mm-hmm. I like Michael Jackson's music, but Michael Jackson was a
alien.
That's not what I was going to say.
Well, there is.
Okay. Let's go with that. So, love the art, not the artist. That's my point with that. Now, the problem is, just throwing this into here, certain comments by the actress Brie Larson did kind of insult her main demographic, white men.
Okay.
And
great thing to do, by the way. That seems to be a trend. Let's insult PR. The main demographic of the production that you're in.
And we'll talk. And right now, I just want to keep it stuck on the movie. In the future, we'll talk about the MCU Phase 4 and what her role will be, or what I think her role will be there. But just on the movie itself, I thought it was good. I thought it was better than the reviews made it out to be. It had a lot of humor in it. Some of the jokes didn't land, in my opinion, as well as they could have. But had a lot of humor in it. The action scenes were really good. It was a nice mesh of... it had a very Guardians of the Galaxy-esque feel to it. Mainly because there were Kree and there were certain things like that. Yeah, I thought it was pretty good. There were a couple things in there that were a little confusing in terms of the history of the MCU. One of them was that the Tesseract makes an appearance, which makes no sense. And we'll be doing a history of Tesseract episode sometime in the future as well.
It's that definitely sparked this idea. Let's do a whole episode where we follow. It's the story of the Tesseract that the humans have on Earth, the blue one, the blue cube. Dr. Marvel was actually a Kree on Earth for some reason. Not sure why she was there, but she was developing a light speed drive, which I guess is faster than, like in Guardians of the Galaxy, they're able to manifest the hexagonal honeycomb looking thing and just jump through space. Apparently, she was making a light speed drive that literally goes faster than light, and I guess that's faster than that technology that was already being used.
And I'm not sure why you need that if you can already jump across the universe.
Exactly.
But
I don't know
okay.
how. Yeah, like I'm not sure why that was really a great thing. The whole point she was doing this is because come to find out the Kree are actually bad guys, and were killing.
Depends on how you look at it and stuff.
The movie made it sound that
The
way,
movie
and
the movie took the stance that they were the bad guys.
and then what was the other ones? The Skrulls were actually they were just kind of refugees, more or less. They just were trying to find a home that was safe away from the Kree. So the Tesseract, she was using the Tesseract to try and achieve this, to power this engine, so to speak, that can go faster than light. So it's like, how the crap did she get that? Because it's 1995 when this takes place.
Mm-hmm.
We'll have to look into it more, but just assume that at this point, S.H.I.E.L.D. has it. Unless the TV series S.H.I.E.L.D. has something to do with it, but I don't know.
Maybe.
I haven't. I have only watched a few episodes of that, so I'm not really versed in that.
But that happens after
1995
after Avengers.
So
The first Avengers movie.
okay, so we can just assume that at this point, S.H.I.E.L.D. had the Tesseract, and I guess that kind of makes sense because, excuse me, Dr. Marvell was she was working with S.H.I.E.L.D. Right?
No, it's not stated that she was working for S.H.I.E.L.D. She was working for the government, but it was NASA and the U.S. Air Force together.
Okay.
It was never specifically stated she was working for S.H.I.E.L.D.
Okay, so
You'd have thought they would have brought that in to make it make more sense.
So this is like
that
probably the biggest one that we had.
Easy solution to this problem.
Just have her work for S.H.I.E.L.D. and it would kind of just solve itself. But yeah, it's like, how did she get it? She must have. So I mean, she must have either figured it out, knew that S.H.I.E.L.D. had this thing or something, and stole it from them, or something like that. Or there's a story there how she got the Tesseract that we don't know, that Captain Marvel the movie doesn't explain.
Couple other things I thought about on the side of that. Number one is the Stan Lee tribute for during the logo. I thought it was really good.
I thought that was cool. Like, thanks, Stanley.
Thank you, Stan Lee.
Thank you, Stan, I think is what it just said.
Thank you, Stan. The Stan Lee cameo was, I thought, very good as well. It's literally, she's walking up the train looking for a scroll, and he's one of the passengers. Pretty standard cameo for him.
What was he saying? He kept repeating the same thing over and over while reading a newspaper. Can you remember what it was?
I can't remember.
I wish we could.
I wish probably
I
important.
wish the Blu-ray was out, because then we could watch and find out and even show you the clip.
What I like about it, though, is that he smiles at her, and then you see the camera point to her, and then she just smiles at him, and it was the kind of smile that said, I really appreciate you. You're, it was a thank you smile, basically.
You pulled a lot from that.
I pulled a lot from that smile,
from there,
and maybe that was me just putting my emotions onto it, but I don't know. It was a really good smile.
How about this? You can just take that however you want.
Yeah.
I don't know. I didn't really get that. I didn't think a lot of it. The big thing was it just didn't seem to go a lot. A lot of Stan Lee cameos were he's got more of a line, and he's got, it's funny or a joke in there, and it was a lot. This cameo was just not really there, and I wonder if they really have ever actually, if that part was actually filmed before he died or not.
It was.
You sure?
Yeah, because they filmed cameos like 2 movies ahead. So they had Avengers Infinity War cameo done, like, around when Black Panther was being...
Oh, so like what you were saying right before we started recording, that there should be a Stan Lee cameo in Avengers Endgame.
Yep. Which seems appropriate. That's probably his last cameo.
Okay, so that kind of just bugs me even more, because if this really is Stan Lee that did this cameo, it just seems a little lacking. Like, usually he's got a witty joke or something, but and it's not like they really knew that he was gonna die or anything, so it wasn't like they could have planned for this cameo or something.
They kind of planned a little bit. I mean, he was 95.
Unless there's like a Disney conspiracy.
There's definitely a Disney.
So they have a dark
Walt Disney's Frozen.
They plan ahead.
Stan Lee.
And so they filmed 2 cameos. There was a more wittier, jokier kind of cameo that they filmed, but since then he happened to die, and they were planning on him being 95 and all, like, dying. They also filmed a dark one where it was more like in remembrance of Stan. I don't know.
See,
That would
now
be really
who's
dark.
looking,
Yeah.
See, now I was looking way too much into this.
Yeah.
What else was there?
Well, I got to think of Goose.
Yeah. Goose.
So everybody
Goose.
liked Goose. Apparently, he's not actually. He's a cat named Goose, and apparently he's a flurgan.
Flirker.
Flurg. I think it was a flur.
He's
We
a
apologize
flirter.
in advance for if we're not pronouncing what he is correctly. I think it's a flurgan. I'm gonna go with that.
Flirgen.
But yeah, some weird. Apparently, he's got a pocket dimension inside of him because he can swallow a lot more mass than he is. You know, he's a small, regular house cat, but he can like shoot tentacles out of his mouth and grab several full size people in like full combat gear all at once, and then just eat them.
Yep. Yum. And then also, so Nick Fury had a big kind of obsession with that Flurgan or Flurker or whatever the heck we're
Oh
calling
yeah,
it.
right off the bat, he immediately was way into this cat and just thought it was awesome.
It's a pretty cool cat.
But where did he come from? We first see him in the movie where, so it looks like a dam that they go into, but they drive into this tunnel like underground, and it's this whole underground shield base or no, was it shield? Because I mean, they go into this installation and then they immediately detain him.
No, it wasn't Shield because Fury worked for Shield.
No, okay, so it was like a storage facility. Okay, it probably was a bunch of things, but they went there to get some records, journals, documents that belonged to Marvel that were stored there. And so they checked in.
Project Pegasus, that's what it was.
Yeah, so they're looking into, getting more information about Project Pegasus, which is the name of the Lightspeed engine that Marvel was trying to build. And so they let him come in, but they detain him pretty much right off the bat after they come into the installation. And so they actually break out of where they're being detained. And then just when they're going down the hallways, there's just this cat. And it's just weird. I mean, it's a Flurgan, sure, but like, why would that thing be just roaming the hallways of this, top secret government installation? And it never does explain where it comes from. It just suddenly they break out and they're running down the hall pretty much, and suddenly there's this cat there, and Fury's immediately like way into it and just think it's the cutest thing ever, and people think it's funny and adorable because cats are just awesome. But really, where did it come from?
Kind of segueing onto that is Samuel L. Jackson's performance was spot on.
Well, was that Samuel Jackson? Because he looked not like Samuel Jackson at all.
Yeah, Samuel L. Jackson. They did a little anti-aging CGI and makeup and stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, he with his performance with the cat, and just I like the fact that it was 95, so he was more of a rookie. So, and he acted like it. So the other films, Samuel L. Jackson was much more serious, much more, let's get down to business to defeat the Huns. And so but in this one, he was much more jokey, much more happy. Him and Captain Marvel had a really good chemistry. It was cool seeing Coulson again.
Oh yeah, because he's actually in the Shield TV show.
He's in the Shield TV show, but it was nice seeing him in a movie again.
Yeah, he was like brand new. Yeah, in this movie, he's like a brand new rookie. He's even more rookie than Fury is.
Mm-hmm. They both had stellar performances, I think. And yeah.
Maybe I'm looking into it too much, but like, I mean, come on. I'm sure other people have the same question. Like, why was there just a Flurgan roaming the hallways in there?
Yep.
But okay, I guess also you find out that in most of this film, you do see that Fury has 2 eyes, no eye patch, and you also find out why he has to wear an eye patch in the future.
Yeah, that was
a bummer.
That was a big bummer.
Spoiler, I guess we
already did
disclaimed
spoilers,
it.
So
I guess it kind of bugs me that
the cat claws him.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
it.
And it's like I don't know. Yeah, I was kind of hoping that like how Fury loses his eye. Not that I was really thinking about it beforehand, but like you see that it just scratches his eye, and that alone gets infected, or I don't know, but it causes him to lose his eye. Like it was just a scratch. I mean, it left marks, like 3 claw marks down his,
which is cool.
Which is kind of cool. But like that really causes him to lose his eye. Like, come on, I don't know. It's just kind of, it felt kind of weak, and I don't know. After seeing that, I'm like, oh, I guess I was kind of hoping that it would be something more epic or cool or more badass. But I guess that's kind of, I guess it could also be a funny joke too, because it's like, you know, you never hear Fury talk, or I don't think anybody even asks how he loses his eye, but you know, you can definitely take it in other films as he never talks about how he lost his eye because he's kind of ashamed of it. Like, he can't really say, "Oh, well, a cat scratched me."
Yeah, that's lame.
That's just lame. So it was not the best Marvel movie.
Not at all.
It was also not the worst.
Better than Black Panther, in my opinion.
You know, I guess how this is supposed to actually end with, you know, Captain Marvel comes back and actually helps.
Oh, that end credit scene was great.
Which one?
The first one. The second one was stupid.
The second one, first one, yeah.
The second one wasn't worth sitting through all the credits.
Because, Goose eats a Tesseract, the Tesseract that was in Marvel's ship that somehow she gets from S.H.I.E.L.D. And then the second end credits one was just Goose hopping up on Fury's desk and then hacks up like what is going to be a hairball, but then the Tesseract just plops out.
Funny,
but
not worth sitting through all the credits.
Yeah, like if they flipped them around so that was the first end credit, sure, and it would have definitely been worth waiting for the other one to be, you know, but whatever. So yeah, I think you're totally good waiting a minute through the credits to see the first end credits clip where Marvel comes back to help with the Avengers with Thanos and everything.
Yeah.
But yeah, at that point,
that was a pretty cool scene actually. Where
that was pretty cool. Yeah,
they find the pager and they're pumping power into it to keep it running.
Yeah. So yeah, which by the way, so Captain Marvel leaves Earth to help these Skrulls go find a home. And but before she does, she makes, I mean, there's this joke about Fury using a two-way pager. You know, it's mid-90s.
The 90s code, they want their pager back.
And she has this knack, apparently, of being able to modify even just a regular payphone to be able to somehow communicate instantaneously, regardless of, you know, it takes actual, you know, electromagnetic waves only travel at light speed, but instantaneously communicate across light years. You know, she has this knack of just turning regular, simple communication devices like a payphone or a pager to be like that. Anyway, so she takes Fury's pager and modifies it and asks him to, you know, if there's an emergency to call her or to you know, contact her using this thing. So, yeah, the first end credits clip is of that. Is apparently, so I guess I didn't know this because I pretty much was falling asleep during Infinity War. But yeah, I guess the end clip on that one it's Nick Fury as he's about to turn into ash and disappear, presses the button or whatever and activates that pager. So end clip of Captain Marvel, same pager. I guess the battery wore out or died on it, but it's still transmitting, or it was transmitting. And there's Black Widow
and Captain America.
They're both.
Oh, and War Machine, Rhodey.
Yeah, they're all talking about it, how they, you know, it stopped transmitting, and like, you know, what happened, you know, what's going on with that. Despite they've hooked up an auxiliary infinite supply of power to it, but yeah, it stopped transmitting, and then somebody like Captain America or somebody turns around, and all of a sudden, Captain Marvel's right there, and she says something like,
"Where's Fury?"
Yeah, where's Fury? And boom, and goes back to credits, which is
yeah.
pretty cool. So it gets you hyped up about, and then it says at some point in the credits, Captain Marvel return in the Avengers Endgame.
Yep.
So it gets you definitely excited about Endgame. And,
as if you weren't excited before.
Yeah, I guess so. I guess if you're gonna take anything out of this film, it's you know, especially the ending, you get to see Captain Marvel's origin story. And, you know, we've been hearing about, like, Captain Marvel's going to come save the whole universe after the whole crap thing with Thanos. Scoot in so you're in the shot more.
Oh, yeah.
So, you know, we kind of been hearing about this, and now we're finally starting to see it. So that's something to be excited about. And it's just, I don't know. It's cool to get an origin story about her. But it's also like it was not needed. Like, what you're really interested in is how she's going to kick Thanos' butt. And that's still yet to come.
I think it was needed. I think Marvel has had the right idea since the beginning. You give an origin story, and then you do a crossover.
Yeah, granted, you can't just throw in some new superhero in a crossover or something like that. I agree. You do need an origin story first. So,
Yeah.
but this was like kind of pushed. I feel like because it takes place in '95, and we're seeing it after we've seen Infinity War.
Yeah.
So it's just like it's kind of rushed. It's like, oh, we have to get this out of the way before we can actually have her kick butt. Yeah. And it's like maybe timing if they just did it earlier. If they really, I don't know. But then again, it might have not done well if they released it before Infinity War, because it's like, who gives a crap about Captain Marvel? Yeah. They've tried, I'm not necessarily Disney, but there have been several attempts to bring her up as an awesome superhero in the past, and those have all kind of failed. Nobody's ever really been interested in her. And a lot of people kind of thought the same thing with this one, with the Disney one, but so it could just be like, you're getting more people out to the theater to go see it because they want to, we already know she's going to somehow kick Thanos' butt and somehow bring back, save everybody, from this huge crisis that's going on. So, had they brought out an origin story, release this movie before Infinity War, yeah, it probably wouldn't have done nearly as well. So I guess maybe kudos on Disney for being, they are out there. They're a company to make money. So kudos to them for succeeding on that. And they Disney, knew what they're doing.
And Disney's one of the best companies at making money in the entire world. Mm-hmm. Their business model is just, they have their hand in everything. So overall, with Captain Marvel, I would give it a solid A-.
Give it B+.
B+,
a little less, but yeah, I can't really say anything bad about it. It wasn't too bad. I guess one thing that really drove me nuts is just all the flack about Brie Larson, blah blah blah, and like it's so hard to, when you hear about that, it's so hard to not watch a film and like you're kind of subconsciously looking for stuff like, oh, is that is that targeted a hateful thing towards white men, or is that it just drives me nuts. And honestly, it just ruins the damn film.
Yeah.
Like, don't do it.
Yeah. And that's the problem, I think. And we'll get to this in another episode about the MCU Phase 4 and things like that. Her character would be a great thing to carry Marvel into the MCU Phase 4. The problem is the actress won't shut up. That's the big problem. Captain Marvel's a great character. She's powerful. She has powers similar to Iron Man, and she works for the government similar to Captain America. So if Iron Man and Captain America are truly retiring or gonna die, then she's a great one to take up the mantle of the Avengers. I have no problem with that at all. Problem is the actress won't shut up. Also,
don't rip on the main demographic of the production that you're in.
Which is white men. Hate to tell you, lady, but white men are the ones who go see comic book films.
And another YouTuber did this, and it was actually a girl too. So I think that's, if a girl's saying this about somebody who's supposed to be pro-woman and whatever, it kind of says something. But she more or less says, instead of trashing that main demographic, encourage other demographics to come and be a part of the thing. And that was the whole point this YouTuber was getting at. You know, instead of just trashing the main one that's mainly supporting everything, encourage other demographics to be a part of it.
That's the problem, is that these comic book movies were supposed to be apolitical. They were supposed to be, hey, let's get away from the problems of the world and see these superheroes they're supposed to be good people that people can look up to and try to emulate. Obviously, not physically. Don't try to jump off a building.
But yeah,
fly.
Be a good person. Try to be, make a difference in your life and other people's lives. Yeah, it was, and they paralleled modern politics. Politics going on at the time, and they were designed to kind of point out the stupidity in a lot of political stuff that was going on at the time of their creation. And I don't know. I guess that's one thing kind of bugs me too about that too, is
I don't like to be politically preached to while I'm watching a movie.
Yeah, you don't
no matter what the side. I agree, whether it's on the right or the left, I don't care. I don't like to be politically preached to when I'm watching a film.
And I would say Captain Marvel, the film, wasn't doing a lot of that. But because of all the flack going on by Brie Larson and everybody else talking about it,
you were looking for
I was looking for it whether I wanted to or not. I was subconsciously looking for it, and it really put a downer on the whole film.
Yeah.
Because it's like, I can't... The same thing happens with Star Trek Discovery, as an example. Same thing there. Or Doctor Who. Same thing there.
Yeah.
Similar stuff
Panther.
going on. Yeah, similar stuff going on with all that. It kind of just ruins the damn film. Don't do it. That's why we make films and TV series and stuff, is to kind of get away from all that bull crap
and
just
to
enjoy
unify,
it.
to truly unify people. Comic book fans come in all kinds of, all genders, all colors, all, nationalities, religions, whatever. Everyone loves, well, not everyone, but a lot of people love comic book movies for that reason. Because heroes rise above the realm of the political back and forth, and just are good people, and that's what we should all try to emulate.
All right, I want to do one more thing. What was your favorite joke in the film? I got mine if you want to.
Go for it. Yeah, do yours first.
So it shows how much of a computer nerd I am. But so they get like the Skrull, the main antagonist Skrull. He somehow gets a copy of this audio file from the black box of the Pegasus project, a ship that crashed that Danvers was in. And so I don't know how he gets it on a CD, but he has it on an audio CD, and he has Captain Marvel listen to it, or Carol Danvers listen to it. And it's just funny because they plop it in the CD tray of this computer, and then you just see it load for like 2 minutes, and they're all just sitting there waiting like it's no big deal. Then Danvers is like, "What's it doing?" And like Fury or somebody's like, "It's loading." And I love that joke because I mean, I remember the stress. Yeah, that's definitely how it was back in the day.
There were a lot of great '90s jokes in this film.
I guess I'm glad they didn't do it. They could. It's just right up there with the dial-up modem sound. But I'm kind of glad they didn't actually do that one because that's a bit overused. But I like that. What's it doing? It's loading. Then finally it loads and you hear what's going on. So I think it's kind of funny that they put in a lot of effort just for that joke. Because if you had to deal with computers from that time, you definitely understand.
Oh yeah, I would say one of my favorites. It's probably, I don't know. I probably can't remember a lot of them, but one of my favorites is when it's this super intense scene, and she just crashed on Earth, and she's talking to her commanding officer, whatever his name was, and she's talking to him, and all of a sudden, and she's on a payphone that she's jerry rigged up, and all of a sudden you hear, "Your time has run out. Please insert another 75 cents into
yeah.
And the look the guy gives is just,
what, the guy that she's talking to?
the guy that she's talking to.
Wasn't that Jude Law?
Flip. I don't know.
Yeah, but yeah, the Kree commanding officer that she's...
The look he gives is just... What?
The same type of thing, too. If you lived in the 90s, you remember trying to dial... That. Yeah, to call collect is what they called it.
The 90s jokes were probably our favorites, in other words.
Definitely funny when you've lived in that area. That's for sure.
I was born in '96, so I don't necessarily live in that era, but I've heard enough jokes about it that I can appreciate it.
You can appreciate it, yeah.
So, all right. Well, thanks so much for watching the Half-Assed Approach podcast or listening in. If you want to get a hold of us, we're on Facebook. We always share the episodes there. Facebook.com/halfassedpod. If you want to give us money, Patreon.com/halfassed. Go to anchor.fm/halfassed for the podcast listening in. We're also on Spotify, Radio Public, Google Podcast, Breaker, Pocket Cast, and Castbox.
You're so good at that.
Thank you so much. I should memorize that.
All right. Have it memorized by now.
I really should.
You say it just about every episode.
All right. Thanks so much, guys. Peace.
Have a good one.